What's up, everybody?
Hi everybody, it's Cindy here with Stampin' Chick Creations. If you are new to my channel, hello and welcome. If you are returning, thank you for coming back. I am here this week with holiday cards. We're going to do a 4-week series on holiday cards coming into October. We just finished the fall card series, and that seemed to be a really big hit, and everybody seemed to really enjoy it. So I thought, why not try a holiday series? So if you are enjoying the videos, please be sure to comment and let me know. And then if you want it switched up a bit, we can. Fall series seems to have been really popular, so that's fantastic, and I'm excited to do the holiday series for you. So, and as we move through the year, we could maybe look at doing, into January, we could do like birthday card series or sympathy card series or whatever, right? So the possibilities are really endless. So thank you for joining me, and thank you for coming back, and be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. You want to be the first one to know. All right, so let's get started, and I am going to switch my cameras around. Here we go. All right, so the 2 cards I have for you today are very simple, but so incredibly elegant. And we are going to be using the Trucking Along bundle. So we have the stamp set and the punch. And this was an online exclusive stamp and punch, and it did go in back order for a little bit. However, it's back, and it's one of my favorites because it's not a holiday stamp set, guys. It's not a holiday stamp set. It is an all occasion stamp set. So we have our truck. Yes, we have our trees, which could or could not be holiday trees. We have our palm trees. We have gifts. We have flowers. We have trees. We have some more flowers. We have the rails for the truck at the back, and of course some adorable sayings. So let's get started. The ones I'm doing, I'm going to use this as a holiday stamp set. However, you can use it for whichever one way you want. Okay, so the very first card that I'm doing is I'm using just a piece of basic white thick cardstock. Okay, so when I use my card bases, I like to use thick for the white because I find that the regular white cardstock is just a little too flimsy, and I find that the cards don't stand up as well. So I love to do the cards with a thick card base in vanilla or white. I have gone ahead and I have embossed this regular white cardstock with the Music Note embossing folder, and I just did that for sake of time, and so I didn't bore you on my video doing some embossing. But that is one of these one of these embossing folders that I very rarely use. And I don't know why, because it's stinking adorable. Okay, so let's get started. So my very first card, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue my Music Notes down onto my white base. I had my silicone mat here and it has vanished. Of course it has vanished. Why would it not have vanished? That would just be, oh, here, it's right beside me. Okay, I'm gonna bring in my silicone mat. I like to stamp with my silicone mat under, just so it catches all of my mistakes and my over gluing, and it also helps project the project a little bit better for you. All right, so now what we need to do, so this Trucking Along stamp set is actually what we call 2-step stamping. And if you're not familiar with 2-step stamping, it essentially is when you're stamping the image twice, hence the 2. So we are going to move our card base out of the way because we don't want to get that dirty. I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap. I think my truck might fit on here. And what I like to do is I like to stamp the outline of the truck first. Yeah, that should fit lovely. I'm just going to clean my stamp a little bit because it seems to have gotten a little bit stained or sticky or something the last time I used it. There we go. Okay. So I like to stamp my image in the black part first. However, I do know some that actually stamp the red or the color of the truck, so the solid part first. So, I mean, there's not really a right or a wrong, I suppose. It's just for me, I find this much easier. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to use my Memento Black, and I really want to make sure I get a nice crisp image with this, okay? So I'm applying a lot more black ink than I normally would because A, this ink pad probably is due for a re-inking, and B, because I want to make sure I get a nice, solid, crisp image. So I'm just applying a little bit of pressure there. Okay, I'll take it. It's not amazing, but I'll take it. Okay. So I'm cleaning off my stamp because that's what us stampers do. We clean our stamps immediately after using them, correct? Yes, we do. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do the solid portion to fill in my truck. Now, I am going to give you a little bit of a tip here. I find, and I might actually even do this on camera, so stay tuned. I find with this stamp in particular that when you go to stamp this, if you push too hard, what happens is that your window actually will fill in, okay? So, and I actually thought my stamp was faulty for the longest time, and then I realized, no, it's just me pushing too hard. So there is a fine line. You definitely want to make sure it's, you know, a good coverage, but you don't want to push too hard because what will happen is that your window will get pushed in. So this did happen to me a couple times yesterday as well when I was doing these cards, or excuse me, the other day. So you want to just make sure that you're not, see, I already am pushing too hard. So I am actually using Sweet Sorbet for my red on this card. And the reason I'm using Sweet Sorbet is because I love this color as a red. Okay, it's one of our ink colors, and it is a red, but I just love it. But it's very, very juicy. So I don't know if you can see, but I do already have two little teeny weeny spots on there that have ink. So I'm just going to grab a piece of the Kleenex here and just see if I can kind of clean that out of the window. So if you're using a very juicy ink pad, you definitely do not want to push too hard. I'm struggling today, actually. Don't ask me why. Maybe because I'm doing this on camera. Okay, I'm just going to try this one more time. There we go. We got her. We got her. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to line this up. Now, this is hard to do when you're trying not to get your head in the camera. So you want to line it right up with the bottom piece. Hopefully we can do this. Fingers crossed. I'm going to push. I'm going to hold it there just for a second just because I want to make sure it gets well covered. And I'm lifting that off. So now this one did go a little bit bubbly. I'm not sure why, but that's okay. I'll take it. I'll show you my finished card that I did yesterday or the other day when I did this. Just to show you, it actually turned out quite perfect. But of course, on camera, nothing ever goes perfect, right? Because that would just be absolutely silly. Okay, so what I am doing now is, so that's my Sweet Sorbet. I am using this funky stamp, which is quite odd looking. It's actually the wheels. It's going to fill in my wheels. And it kind of looks like eyes almost, but they're not eyes. They're actually the wheels that we're going to fill in here. So now I really struggled with this the other day when I was doing this card. Don't ask me why, because it's really not that difficult, but apparently I made it very difficult. So there we go. There's our truck. I actually don't mind the truck being a little bit bubbled like that. I actually think it adds a little bit of character to it. So let me see here. I'll put those back. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap white. And I'm going to do something I would not normally do. So what do I mean by that? I mean, I am not a fussy cutter. By any means, I hate fussy cutting. However, I feel like this requires that. Actually, you know what? Before we do this, let's punch out our truck. Okay, so I'm opening up my punch and I'm just going to put my truck in. I'm going to line it up. And when I'm satisfied with where it is, I'm just going to push. And all these other little bits do come out. That's okay. Throw that in the garbage. Okay, so now I'm going to come back and bring my scrap. I really don't need this big of a scrap, but anyway, that's fine. It's the first piece that I grabbed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my old olive. And not that one. I actually want the solid image. Now, this is a really bizarre looking stamp when you just look at it like this. But once you understand what it's supposed to look like, it's going to be our tree, right? But to see it on its own, it looks very weird. And you're thinking, what? Which way does this go, right? But you will figure it out. I promise you, I have no doubt. Okay, so now I'm doing that in old olive. And I'm going to do the lines in old olive. Now, I have done the lines in like a darker green as well. And it looks super cute as well. But I'm just going to, for the sake of this video, going to do it the same. So again, I'm just putting some old olive lines over my already stamped old olive tree. Okay? So that is two-step stamping. It's very easy. It was one of the very first techniques that I learned as a stamper, and it might have been one of the techniques that actually hooked me on to stamping, because I was like, that's so cool. And the beauty about two-step stamping is that it does not have to be perfect, right? Because you don't really want it always to be perfect, because that kind of takes the not the creativity, but it takes the perfection. Like if it's too perfect, it looks like it's mass produced. So I'm actually going to fussy cut this. So my apologies to bore you for this period of time while I do this. Okay, so I wish they had a die for all these, but they don't. I think that really would have made this set even more stinking adorable to have all the dies. But we can't have dies for everything, right? There's certain requirements and things around certain product lines. So, okay, I'm just going to cut that one like this. And then I'm just going to zigzag this back. So the more zigzagging, I guess is what you could call it, I'm doing on this, the more realistic this tree will look as well, right? So it's definitely, there we go. Okay, so I love those paper snips, but they are so sharp, guys. So sharp, so sharp. Okay, so this is what is going to happen. Our tree is going to go into our truck. And you're wondering, why am I popping that up? Why can't I just do that in one step? Well, I'm going to show you in a minute when we go to finish this card what we need. And I'm just looking for, I had previously cut a piece. Here it is, right in front of me. Okay, so I have this piece here, which I might actually end up cutting down. But I'm going to use this stamp right here that says, wishing you a festive Christmas. I love this stamp. I love the font on this stamp set too. Like you've heard me say it. I know. You're probably like, we know. I am a font snob. I don't know. I'm very, very particular about fonts on stamp sets. Okay, so I'm going to actually go ahead and stamp closer to the bottom of this paper because I'm going to trim this down. Okay, so now if I bring in my paper trimmer, which would be right here beside me, I'm going to come on. Okay, I'm going to just trim this down. You notice I'm not measuring. Ooh, that was a little bit close, but that's okay. A little closer than I wanted, but nonetheless. Okay, so you notice I'm not measuring. I'm just kind of eyeballing, which is not usually what I would do. But in this case, because I don't really need it to be an exact measurement, I am going to do that. All right, I'm going to close this up so I can bring back my card base right here, which I have no idea where it's gone. And now, here's my card. There's my, get this out of here. I am looking for my dimensionals, which is right here. Everything's so close, but so far away. All right, so here we go. I'm putting dimensionals on the back of the truck. I'm just thinking I probably wanted to put the sentiment down first is kind of what I was thinking, but. And this is actually just going to go there. And I could actually trim this down just a little bit more because this wishing you, my tires can go on either side of that. So I will attempt very, very carefully to trim this down just another hair. Because, you know, that's a very technical term, just a hair when you're crafting. So I'm going to lay this flat. I could have actually trimmed it down more. I'm going to stop right there because I will end up messing this up. Okay, so here we go. Here we go, right? Now we need a dimensional for our little tree. I should have used mini dimensionals, but I don't have any close by. And I'm just going to put my tree inside my truck. Isn't that adorable? Okay, but hang on. I need to finish off my truck. So I need to take, this is my light pool party. And I'm just going to come in and color in the window to make it look like the glass. And then we need to have it look like it's got some chrome on it. So we're going to take our light gray granite. Oh, is this the one I wanted? I potentially did not want this one. It's okay. We'll use it. Light gray granite. And I'm just going to color in the wheel rims, tire rims. And of course, his little bumper. And that little guy up here. Okay, what do you think? Is this card not incredibly elegant? So stinking simple, but so beautiful. Okay, so that's card number 1. Card number 2, I absolutely fell in love with when I saw a different type of a card done with this. I liked the layout of it, but I didn't have any of the supplies. So I modified it. And when I modified it, I thought, I have the perfect paper that I want to use for this. So this one here, what we're going to do is we have a piece of cherry cobbler ink or stamp, or no, what is this? What is this called? This is called paper. Cherry cobbler paper. This, my friends, is the brand new paper that is an online exclusive only. It was intended to be released for Celebration, but we're not doing a second Celebration. We're only doing the one. And this paper, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it's high gloss on both sides. So I originally was going to do this side, and I think it's way too dark. So I changed my mind, and I went with this side. Excuse me. I love this plaid. Love it. Love it. Love it. Hit it hit it right on the nose, Stampin' Up. So here we go. We are going to glue this down. This high gloss paper, so incredibly pretty. It's called tartan something or other. I'll have to get the name for you. Maybe I can include it here in the video afterward when I edit it. And then I've taken a piece of cherry cobbler, a strip here, and this is 1.5 inches wide. And what I'm going to do is I could use my flag punch, but I'm too lazy to get up and walk across the room to go get it. So I'm actually just going to find the center-ish. I'm going to kind of go up and over and over. And now this is a little bit long, so I could bring in my paper trimmer one more time, and I'm just going to cut a little bit off this. So I did make this 5.5 inches, a little too long, but that's okay, because that's why I'd rather have it too long than not long enough. And oh yes, beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to glue this down. I think you're going to love this card. I love how it turned out. This might be my Christmas card. Maybe. We'll see. All right. So now, cherry cobbler is what I'm using. Love cherry cobbler for a Christmas card. I did take this Radiant Stitches die, and we're going to lay this on top. Right? A beautiful? Yes. Okay. So what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to hold my breath and hope that I don't mess this up. And I know it's probably not very confident coming from a demonstrator, right? Like, I hope I don't mess this up. Well, guess what? We are also human, and we do mess up. Although some people's videos maybe look like they're just got it going on all the time, we all mess up. So just know that. So I'm using my block. I'm still using Trekking Along because, heck, why would I not? Okay, so I'm putting that on there. And I'm going to make sure that's straight. Now this Trekking Along just nicely fits on here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this kind of in the center-ish, right? And I just cleaned my Stampin' Scrub and it's already dirty. So now for this one, I'm going to use Cherry Cobbler ink. Now, Cherry Cobbler ink is a very, very deep, deep red. This is brand new. This is like my third time using this ink pad, if even, maybe my second. So I really want to concentrate on this one. So I'm just bringing my truck a little bit closer to me. I just want to make sure everything's bang on. Oops, a daisy, and I just dropped my stamp into my ink pad. That's exactly what we do not want to happen. So sometimes what happens is with these photopolymer stamps, they do tend to get a little bit unstickiness. So what I like to do is just clean the back and just reapply it. And that seems to work quite well usually. However, new ink pads are very, very juicy. So sometimes you just have to be very cautious. Okay, so I just want to, again, being aware that I don't want to fill in the window, right? So I don't want to push too hard. Okay, how'd I do? It could have been a little bit better, but I'll take it. All right, so it's pretty darn dark right now, right? That's okay, because as it dries, it's going to lighten up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close up my Cherry Cobbler ink because we do not want our fingers in that. We're going to put away our truck and we're going to continue to build our card. So I need those trees again. So if I was really on the ball, I might have left them out. But you can't have it always, right? So I'm going to do something a little bit different with this one. I'm going to do an Old Olive Tree as my solid. So that's not much different. You're like, well, that's not different. What are you talking about? Okay. So here's my tree. It's in the back of my truck. Okay. Beautiful. Yes. But let's bring in the outline in Old Olive. No, sorry, Mossy Meadow. My bad. Mossy Meadow. Whoops. And my Mossy Meadow is very new as well, so I always forget that I have to lightly touch. Light touch, light touch. Okay. And let's turn the tree the right way. And then I'm going to go over it with my Mossy Meadow, and it just gives it a little bit of an outline. It's so adorable. Okay, we have to do our tires. So my tires are right here. So let's do our tires. And I'm just going to do the tires in black. Let me close up this Mossy Meadow because we do not need to get anything boo-booed here. Okay, so inking up my tires and very carefully. You can see through, like photopolymers are great for this because you can see through to see exactly where your going. Like, look how nice that is. And that's why I love two-step stamping with photopolymer, because it makes my life much, much easier. So I'm going to take this piece, which actually is supposed to be like dirt, road. I'm not sure what you would call it. And I'm going to actually use gray granite for this. So I'm going to use gray granite. And so there's kind of a longer side and then a shorter side. The longer side is supposed to go underneath the truck. Like that. So the truck looks grounded. So it looks a little bit more realistic. And I'm going to use a special delivery right here. I'm done with gray granite, so let's get this out of the way. Special delivery, I'm just going to do this in black because I think this is super cute in black. Special delivery. Okay. So when you're stamping this, you want to be careful because the delivery is kind of on an angle, but the special is not. So you want to line it up properly. And then I would like, now that this is drying up, I'm going to grab this little thing here. And it actually says, it's really hard to read. It says Farm Fresh. Farm Fresh. Yes. How adorable is this? Okay. So maybe this will be my Christmas card. I don't know. I can't decide. I'm going to put this on the door. Cute. I know. It just adds that extra layer, right? So I got to clean that off. I'm going to put this away so I don't lose it. But we're not done just yet, friends. We're not done. So we're done with the stamps. So I can close those up. But let's bring back in. This is going to be my light balmy blue. So I'm going to use this one to do the mirror. Or sorry, not the mirror. Oh, this is much brighter than I thought it was going to be. My window is what I meant. I picked the wrong color, but that's okay. You wouldn't even know the difference unless I told you. And then, oh, that's crumb cake. Huh. I have to tell you, sometimes these colors are deceiving in here. You think you're pulling out a color and you are not pulling out the right one. Okay, here's my light gray granite, again for my chrome. And my chrome. And my bumper. And my bumper. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and put this on the card, but let's put some dimensionals on here because, oops, I only took the backing off that one. Okay, here we go. Right? Adorable. Are you with me still? Okay, well, let's finish this baby off. Let's bring in some of the silver and white ribbon that is in the Holiday Mini. It is incredible. It's so easy to work with. It's so beautiful. I wish they had brought it out in gold as well, because that would have been stunning. So I'm just making myself a little bow. I struggle to make bows, friends. So, and I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm going to trim this off. I know this tail is way longer than I need, but that's okay. And let's just put that there. And now I need my glue dots. Oops, I'm dropping things, friends. Dropping things. Okay, glue dot. There we go. What do you think about that card? Do you love this or do you love this? Okay, so here are, sorry, this is the one from today. This is the one I did the other day. I'm not sure why this one kind of went blotchy and this one didn't, but Exactly the same card, right? Adorable. And then these are the two that I did the other day. Now you'll see I have a little bit of red in the window there, but very, very cute, right? Do you love these? All right. If you love them, you can order all the supplies you need to make those two cards directly from my website. And with every purchase, I actually send you a gift. So be sure to get the order in. Be sure to use the hostess code. And I will talk to you very soon. Come back next week because we're going to have some more cards to make, some holiday cards. And I hope you're enjoying these videos. We'll chat soon. Thank you very much for supporting me. I appreciate each and every one of you. And we'll talk soon. Bye.
With a dream, our passion made a difference and built a family. We've grown strong.